Let's start Docker. Systemctl start Docker. Docker is started. Now I'm going to run Jenkins as a Docker container, and I'm going to use Jenkins official image. This is the one, Jenkins Docker official image. This is the one I'm going to run. Docker run -itd -p. I'm going to port forward to Jenkins by default runs on port 8080, so I'm going to forward this port to port 80 on the host. I'm going to do binding port forwarding, so let's use small p. And the image name is Jenkins/Jenkins and LTS is the tag. Also, I want to have backup of the Jenkins data. Jenkins data is generally stored in Jenkins home directory, which is varlib Jenkins. So here in the container, it is stored in var Jenkins home. Here we have all that information how to use this image, and this is the directory where Jenkins data is stored inside the container. So I want to attach volume to this. Now I'm going to use v flag here to attach the volume -v, some volume name, let's say Jenkins volume, and this is going to be attached to this path inside the container. Let us run this. It says unable to find the image locally, so it's pulling the image, and it should create a volume called gen_volume on the host machine, and it should be mapped to this path inside the container. Let the container start. So container is started. First let's see the images. It might have pulled the Jenkins official image. Yes, this is the Jenkins official image. Let's see the volumes. Docker volume ls. So volume is created. Let's see the volume path. Docker volume name, Docker volume inspect will give you the path of the volume, the volume name. So it's in the home directory of Docker, varlib Docker volumes. So let's go to this path. Varlib Docker volumes and the volume name. So if you see, we have all the Jenkins information. So it was, volume was attached successfully. Now let's see the containers. Docker ps. So here is the container which is running and forwarded to port 80. Yeah, let's check that on port 80. This is the Jenkins instance. This is the instance where we have deployed this. So hit this on port 80. Also we should add this in the firewall. Edit the inbound rules. It's running on port 80, so let's add the port. Okay, now let's hit this IP address of the instance. On port 80 we should see Jenkins. Here Jenkins is launched, and you can see that it is unlocked. For the first time, it is locked. For the first time our Jenkins will be locked, and we have to unlock it. Get the unlock password. Actually this unlock password is inside the container, right? We are not running it on the host. So let's step into the container. Let's get into it. Docker exec -it, and this is the container ID. Let's copy the container ID. Yeah, we got the container. Now this this password will be present inside this. So let's copy the path inside the container. So right, this is the password. Now let's put the password on the Jenkins page and let's log in. The password entered is incorrect. Please check the file for correct password. Let's copy it again. This is the one. Copy. Right, we are logged in, and as usual it's asking to customize Jenkins by installing the plugins. Let's go with the suggested plugins. It may take a minute or two. Let us install this. So plugins were installed. Let's log in. Let's create some user. I'm giving the username as admin. Password is also admin. Full name and some email ID. And save and continue. So Jenkins is ready and we can launch Jenkins now. So this Jenkins is running inside a container. So let me create a sample job. Let's say job 1, a freestyle, just a sample job I'm creating. And let us use some basic shell commands. Echo. Okay, simple shell command. So a job is created. We may run this job. So like this we can create the jobs and so on. Now let's look into an interesting thing here. So our Jenkins is running as a Docker container. What if this Jenkins container is gone? Let me come out of this container. So I'm out and we can see the container is still running. Now what if this particular container is gone, right? It has got lot of jobs, lot of plugins installed. If the container is gone, the data might be gone. But in our case, as we have attached the volume, we can start a new container with the same volume attached, so that we can start a new Jenkins container with the same data. So let us see that. I am terminating this container. Docker rm, I am force removing this container. -f the container ID. So this container will be gone, but if you see the volume, still you have the data. If you see all the plugins information, whichever installed, the users created, all of that is present here. Now let's start a new container. Again, docker run -itd -v, attach the same volume to the same path like var Jenkins home. This is the home directory inside the container, and also do port forwarding on another port, this time port 81, and the Jenkins image, Jenkins /LTS. Let me check the path once again, the path inside the container. So var Jenkins home. So this is the one, var Jenkins home. So I'm attaching it to the same volume. So new container should be started for Jenkins, which will have the same data because it's attached to the same volume which was created by the previous Jenkins container. So it is created. Let's see. Docker ps container is running. Let's check it on port 81. This is a new container. It should work. It should not work like a new Jenkins instance, as it is having a data backed up from the volume. Let us add port 81 as well. Custom TCP and port 81. Allow all traffic from anywhere. Let's save this. And now let's hit the same. If you see here, you will not see Jenkins. Let's hit the same IP on port 81. We should see Jenkins, but it should not work like a new one. See, it's not in a locked state, or it's not asking us to unlock or install the plugins, as it works like a fresh instance. It's logging with the users which we created earlier for old instance. Also, you can see the job created. All the plugins you have installed, all of that data is restored. So this is how we can take backup of a Jenkins container through volumes.